Hey, Adam Dukes here. Welcome to episode number 6. The networks have not canceled us yet, so we're still alive, still running. What type of business should I start? Now, I know this is like a loaded question, very, very vague, very, very broad. It's almost like saying how long is a piece of rope, how long is a piece of string. This is some of the things I would look for if I was starting out brand new online. Real quick backstory, I got started in 2010. I did like local marketing, helping local businesses like market themselves online, websites, things like that. Never had the passion for it. You have to be very good at sales, which I was not good at sales. I'm still not that good at sales. So that was a big weakness, and that was sales was a huge part of it, even though I didn't think so. So I struggled with it. It was up and down. Some months I'd do really, really well. Some months I wouldn't do really well. It was just kind of feast and famine, up and down. Very inconsistent, but it wasn't a passion. So my big advice is start something that you have a passion or interest in. I think that makes a big difference. I know some people say it doesn't matter, and some people say absolutely go after your passion. I'm from the camp of kind of both. Have a passion, have an interest. You don't have to be gung-ho passionate about it, but have an interest in it at least. That makes a big difference when you have those down days or down weeks or down months, to keep pushing forward. What makes you jump out of bed in the morning? That's another one. I like that phrase. You know, what do you think about all the time? What do you do on the weekends, or what do you do on the off time? Do you watch sports? Do you go bow hunting? Do you go fishing? Think about things like that. Start up a fishing blog and talk about your fishing with your buddies and build up a community. I think that's very, very important when starting a business online, is building up a community beforehand, before you think about the money and how am I going to make money and all this. Having that community of like-minded individuals, that's the hardest part. But if you can get that in place first, kind of the sky's the limit. You can ask them what they need help with. If it's fishing, ask them what they need help with. Maybe they need new fishing rods. You could start an e-commerce store selling fishing rods. Maybe they need, maybe they're brand new at fishing. They need to learn how to fish better, something like that. And you share with them. You have a blog or video blog, like I'm doing now. Share tips with them how they can fish better, or what you've learned over the years fishing. This is what I've learned. I go at 5 a.m, or morning time's the best. I don't know, whatever it is. But having that community, I think, is very, very important beforehand, before trying to monetize it and that. So that's another one. Again, the passion and interest, I think that's very, very important. Don't do something because other people are doing it. Certainly don't chase the money. I had a video I released probably like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, about chasing the money, and that's what I did for a lot of the time. Had some success, had some down months, had a lot of success. Still wasn't happy, still wasn't fulfilled. So now I'm kind of doing something that I enjoy doing, a dad, an entrepreneur. That is what I am. I'm kind of marketing. I think a big key is if you're your target market, it makes the marketing much more, much simpler. Empathy is like key in marketing, and what you're going through. So if you can market that, it makes it much easier. If you can talk their language, if you know your audience, it makes it much easier. I'm also a big fan of sharing what you've been through the last year, the last 3 years, the last 5 years, the last 10 years. Maybe you had a rough childhood. I don't know what it is, but kind of your mess is your message type of thing. I think that is very, very powerful. And the mess could have happened, like I said, in the last year, and this is what you did to kind of turn it around. The mess could have happened 30 years ago, and this is what you did to turn it around. The mess could have happened 3 years ago, and these are the steps you took to turn it around. Your mess as your message is very, very powerful. You lived through it, and these are the steps you took to overcome this adversity or whatever you went through. I think that's very powerful. Obviously you have an interest in it because you did it, you lived through it, you made the steps and you got out of this mess. So I think that's very powerful. That's kind of something I'm doing right now. Being a Dad-Preneur, I'm trying to teach other dads not to chase the money, because you'll eventually get burned out. Build up a community, which I'm doing. I have no idea how to monetize it. That is not my thoughts at all. Luckily, I have other income streams coming in, so I don't really have to focus on how am I going to make money from it. I'm just focused on how can I add value to these new dads, in this Facebook group, on this show called Dad-Preneur TV. I've been doing it for 6 years. Well, I've been an entrepreneur for 6 years, been a dad for three. So being a dadpreneur, I've actually only have 3 years experience that. But kind of just sharing my so-called mess that I went through, and I'm turning it into my message. So you could kind of follow my lead. So I think that's very, very powerful. I obviously lived through it, still going through it, and that's not like perfect or anything by any means. And I'm getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people, people that are giving me comments. They're not comments, I'm sorry, or some comments, but mainly private messages. A lot of people are messaging me privately, thanking me for the Facebook group, thanking me for these videos, thanking me for sharing the truth, of the struggles that I've went through over the last 6 years, how really the struggles really don't go away. I hate to say it. It's really how you manage those struggles, and that's what I'm learning a lot lately, is the struggles are always going to be there. It's just how do you manage that? The mindset, like I've talked about many, many times, extremely, extremely important to master the mind. Like the tactics and strategies that you learn online, like, I don't know, 5% of it, maybe 10%. The big part is mastering the mind, dealing with that self-doubt, managing all that, not comparing yourself to others. Again, that's a big problem. I have that same problem too. So what type of business to start? What has happened to you in the last 1 to 10 years, and how did you overcome it? That is a story that you can share. Maybe you worked a job that you hated, you had a boss. Share that story, kind of shine your light is what I kind of talk about, the good and the bad, sharing both, the good and the bad. I get so much more feedback on when I share the bad or the negatives or the downside or the losses. I get a lot more feedback from people that way. But you've got to share both too. You can't be Debbie Downer, of course. So that is my advice. Turn your mess into your message. I think that's very, very, very powerful, and I think that's overlooked by a lot of people. And obviously you have an interest in it, perhaps a passion. If you really overcame something, you might want to help other men or women or whoever overcome that same struggle that they went through, or that adversity they get through. It could be something from when you were 5 years old, when you were a child. I have no idea. It could be anything. Just turning that mess into your message. That will probably make you jump out of bed in the morning. That will probably make you push through those slow days, those bad days, those days you want to give up. You're like, no, I'm helping this group of people. I'm helping these moms. I'm helping these dads. I'm helping these retired vets. I'm helping these senior citizens. Whatever group it is you're helping, you'll think of them, and it's kind of bigger than yourself type thing. That's what I'm really big about, is quit thinking about yourself and think about the others that you're going to serve, and help out. So that is my take on what kind of business to start. It's a little bit different than saying go start an e-commerce shop or go start a web design company. Again, if you love web design and you're very good at it, then go right ahead and go start a web design company. If you love e-commerce and you love selling dog bones, go sell dog bones, and you have dogs and things like that. That is an interest of yours or a passion. Or if you love shooting, you love hunting, and crossbows and guns and things like that, go start up a store revolving around that. But have an interest in it. If you have a passion, it's going to be even more. Or like I said before, turn that mess of yours into a message. And it doesn't have to be a horrible, horrible, horrible mess. It can be just something you kind of overcame. So, but build a community first. That's very, very powerful, having that built-in community, and you can get feedback from them. Ask them what they need help in, what they want, what they're looking for. Be that leader. So that's about it for today's episode. I see Shane just popped in. I saw it come join. So Shane, thank you for watching live. I do appreciate it. This is obviously something very new, so getting the ball rolling. So I appreciate any single viewers or watching live, I should say. So I really, really appreciate it, Shane. I know you're a very busy man, so I appreciate you taking the 5 to 7, possibly 10 minutes now. Went a little bit longer than I planned, so I definitely appreciate it, man. And leaving the comment on yesterday's video as well. I know that helped, or it resonated with you. So about the parenting, or the parents and not, or the family not supporting, I should say. I won't say parents, but. All right, that wraps up today's show. Hey, can you tag a dad? Tag just one dad. I'm not looking for you to share it with your whole family or your whole Twitter following or Instagram or Snapchat following. Just one dad. If you can just tag a dad below, that's kind of how we're gonna try to share this. I'm trying to grow this organically and not really use any advertising to see if I can. So I need your help. So if you can tag a dad down below, I would really appreciate it. Or just shoot an email with this link to a dad and help spread the word. If it's a dad's an aspiring entrepreneur looking to get into entrepreneurship, or maybe is an entrepreneur, maybe this video will help them. So thank you. Yes, heavy Gary V influence. Yes, Shane. He is the one that got me started in 2010. I read the book Crush It by accident. It was crazy how it started in February 2010. I actually remember the day pretty well when I actually bought the book on Amazon, and then I read that, and it I was in the looking for to get a job. I had no entrepreneurial spirit that I knew of, and then I read Crush It, and it changed my life. So yes, huge Gary Vee fan. Don't agree with him 100%, but yes, I am a huge fan of his. So yep, thanks again, Shane, for watching. I do really appreciate your feedback, your comments, your opinions, and just carving the 10 minutes out of your busy day to sit and watch this live show. So thanks, man.